Hello there everybody, this is Eric Sullivan again doing some videos about how to do R stuff, and this particular time we're going to have a sequence of 3 videos doing data cleaning. So I've got a data set that's pretty messy, which is typical of every data set, and our job is to basically select, filter, sort, summarize it, do all of the cool data cleaning things that we might need to do. So let's get started. What we're going to do in this video is look at a messy data set, change some data types because they'll be pulled in as the incorrect data type. We will figure out how to use the filter command and the select command, and all of this is going to be with the dplyr library in R. So here we go. I'm going to start with a nice clean slate. If you've seen my other videos, you've seen the Tour de France data. This time I now have the raw Tour de France data. So this is a pretty messy table that I actually just scraped right off of Wikipedia. So let's look at it. Here, let me kill off a couple things there. So let's look at this thing. So it's got the year, the country, the cyclists, the sponsor team, the distance. Boy, the distance column looks like it's kind of a mess. It's got 2 different types of distances. Time or points. There's some of them that are time, some of them that are points, some of them that are world wars. We'd like to clean that up. The margin that you won by, the number of stages won, number of stages in the lead. So we're going to clean this data set, and I've got a couple of tasks set up here. The first task is to remove the world wars. So you'll notice in our data table, in our data frame, that if we scroll down, the first World War takes up several lines. And the Second World War, if we scroll into the 40s here, also takes up several. So that is a job for the filter command, and that's in the dplyr library. So I'm going to load the dplyr library. Now, that is also in the tidyverse. You could just load the tidyverse library. It works all the same. And here's how we're going to do it. So I've got tour table, and I'm going to write a new data frame. I don't want to overwrite the data frame that I had because I don't like to just clobber the old data and remove it off of my machine. So I'm just going to say like tour 1, for example, gets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tour table and I'm going to use this special piping command which allows you to take a data frame and pipe that into a collection of different commands. What this does is it avoids you embedding commands inside of commands inside of commands, like the Russian doll of commands that you can get when you code. Let me show you. I'm going to take the tour table and I'm going to basically send that to the filter command. Now the filter command just says, hey, give me all of the instances in the data set that match some conditional statement. So let's see here. I want to look at I can even just do the country. If I want to get rid of the world wars, World War I is in every column except for the year. So let's just take the country, for example. So if I take country and I say is not equal to, quotes, World War I. Okay, what this is going to do is it's going to look through the whole data set. It's going to look through all the columns and say, I want the country that's not equal to World War I. Now if I run that, I've created a new data frame called Tour 1, and if I look at that guy, there's now a gap where World War I was. Okay, but I wanted to get rid of both world wars, so let me just put a comma here and say country is not equal to World War II. Okay, I'm going to rerun everything. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Let's try again. Oh, because I wrote counter. Boy, all right. No wonder it was giving me errors. There we go. Let's see here. Now let's look at Tour 1. World War I is missing. World War II, if I scroll into the early 40s, is also missing. Good. Okay. So we've now cleaned a little bit of our data. Let's do some more. There's a few years that use points instead of time. Well, okay, so there's a handful of these. If I look at this, we've got, let's see here, time and points is a list of factors. So if I do levels of 2 or 1 $ time and points, all right, my levels are these guys. There's lots and lots and lots of them. But notice there's these funky ones that are actually points. So maybe, let's take, I don't want to overwrite this again. I'm going to take 2 or 1, pipe that into another filter command where I take, this could be a cool way to do this. Maybe I'm going to do not is.element. I'm going to say time.points, and then I'm going to give it a list. And my list is going to be 31 in quotes, 35 in quotes, 36 in quotes, 37 in quotes, 43, 47, 49, and 63. Okay, so what I'm doing is saying, is the thing in the time.point, or time.points, sorry, it's plural, the thing in the time.points column, is it a member of this set? If the answer is yes, then negate that. So I'm going to say, take all the ones that were an answer no to that and actually keep them. So if I run that, 2 or 2 now has no world wars, which is good. And the time.points, all the ones that were points, are gone, which is great. Okay, I totally wanted that. That's exactly what I wanted. All right, now let's say we want to just get rid of some columns. This is a good use of the select command. So I now want to just take some columns and just get rid of those guys. So 2 or 3 is going to be a new data frame. It's going to take 2 or 2, my most recent one, and I'm going to select, okay, I do not want cyclist, so I can put minus cyclist. I can put minus margin, and I can put minus, let's see here, sponsor.team. Did I spell everything right? I did not. Okay, and if I run it, 2 or 3 is now the new data frame that I have, and you'll notice all the columns that I didn't want are gone. So again, the select command will select or deselect if you're using the minus columns that you want. The filter command will take only the rows that match some sort of criteria that you want. Now the last thing I want to do here in this video is that I noticed that stage wins and stages in lead are listed as factors, but really those are just numbers. So we can fix that by saying, see, I'm on 2 or 3 $ stages.wins. That's going to get as.numeric of 2 or 3 $ stages.wins. And you could do the same thing for stages in lead. If I run that, what you'll notice is it changes it to numeric. Okay, more on the next video. For right now, this one was filter, select, and changing some data types.